This podcast is meant for mature audiences only and contains strong sexual language. Welcome to Sex, Love, and the Black Experience with your hosts, mskikilove and msneshab of Orgasmic Melanin Goddesses. We're just two dope sisters who love to talk about sex and give our amazing guests a platform to share their experiences and expertise as it pertains to sex, love, and the Black experience. So let's get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sex, Love, and the Black Experience with Orgasmic Melanin Goddesses. I am your co-host, msneshab, and then I'm going to bring in my lovely co-host who I love to do this show with all the time, and then we're going to introduce our special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sweetie.
Hey, what's up? mskikilove in the building. Period.
Pew, 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 pew. And we have a lovely, lovely guest. I'm going to switch over to this camera. Yes. So do you mind just introducing yourself to everybody? And we're going to ask you to give your freak number on a scale of 1 to 10 and why.
My freak number. I got a follow-up question with that, but my name is Jasmine Brown.
Hey, Jasmine.
What's going on? So how do I rank? Like, what's the
It's from
range?
1 to 10.
It's from 1 to 10, 10 being the freakiest. But it's all subjective. So it's how do you rank yourself?
Okay. I'll probably rank myself like a 7.
Okay.
You like a good 7.
Right.
7 is good. 7 is good.
Yeah.
Does that
like,
mean you still have more to go? Like you still kind of waiting to climb?
Right.
Yes, I still have more to experience and explore. But honestly, some stuff I am waiting for my husband.
Nice.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not like there's just certain things I'm not interested in doing until
Till you and your husband get together.
yeah.
All
Nice.
right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to get to you because I got my questions too. And we want our audience to get to know everything about you. And we making this all about you. And that's what we do here on Sex, Love, and the Black Experience. We are highlighting wonderful people in the realm of sex, sexual health, and wellness. And we're giving them a platform because we want you guys to know them so that you can do business with them or get what you need from them, because it is Black History Month too, and it's all about
for Black
supporting
History
our
Month.
people.
Black History Month power. You know what I'm talking
Shots
about?
fired.
Yes.
We celebrate Black History Month 365 around here. You understand me? Because Black history is American history.
Yes.
Period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to start off our first segment. We call it Fuck Shit.
Yes.
This is Miss Kiki Love. She she follows social media and all the things that's going on. And so this is her time to just get that shit off her chest.
Okay. I want to hear it.
We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but we're going to talk about it. And then we want you to chime in if you have an opinion or anything you want to say. And so, Kiki, what's the fuck shit for today?
Yes.
So the fuck shit is about the piece of garbage, Jason Woodlock, and the things that he said on Fox News about Tyree Nichols.
It was Fox.
Right, exactly. So he went on Fox News, and he's Jason Woodlock is a sports
commentator,
and he's about sports and things like that. And he went on Fox News about the Tyree Nichols murder, and basically blamed single Black mothers for
what?
Exactly, for what? And what I have to say to that is fuck you, nigga.
What exactly was he blaming Black?
He basically, in so many words, I'm paraphrasing, he basically said that this was gang violence, right? And because the police chief is Black and female, and he was basically generalizing the police chief and calling her a single Black mother, even though she's married and has children.
And Tyree Nichols' mother is not a single black mother either.
And
so
blaming,
it didn't make sense.
And blaming Tyree Nichols' mother because, and calling her a single black mother, that it's basically her fault, the reason why her son is gone. And blaming all black women for the causes of,
This is what he said. I'm going to give you his exact.
Please.
So this is what he said. He went on there and he said, everybody involved in this on the street level was either 24 to 32 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5-on-1. Looked like gang violence to me, he began. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman.
The rage. How do you feel about that, sis? You have no words. It's speechless, right?
Yes. I'm sorry. I like no
because
words.
I was raised by a single mom. Nisha was raised by a single mom. Even though we have our father, right? Nisha is a single parent, and even though we both have our fathers in our lives, but I'm a product of divorce. So is Nisha. And so how dare you, sir? Right. I love Nisha's mom like she's my own. How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you? I know too many black mothers out here that have it together, that have incredible pedigrees. How dare you generalize and make a generalized statement about black women like that?
Yeah,
and
he doubled down on it to
justify the death. Like,
right.
I don't think he focused on that. I think he was trying to. He had on this platform, he was trying to say that the downfall of the black community is single mothers, basically, or the family, because he did double down when Sierra had said something to him about it, and then he doubled down and said, "I appreciate the feedback, Sierra, but at some point we're going to have to deal with the negative impact of baby mama culture. It's destructive and unsustainable. Come up out of the denial. Denial won't fix the problem." So he didn't really focus on, the biggest focus should have been on
Tyree Nichols, right,
and the violence and that occurred, instead of making it about single mothers, because the single mama didn't beat him to death. Mm-hmm. Single mamas are not going around terrorizing black and brown communities because they're using their power, to basically overcome people. And I had this conversation before about me just being, I'm a little bit afraid of the police.
Absolutely.
Even if I didn't do nothing, it's like, I don't know why I shake or have a little bit of fear. And I think it's just because black people as a whole, we have some PTSD just because of, what goes on in society. And then just having to have, as a single mom, having to have those conversations with our young men and young ladies about when they go out in this world, and how the talk is not about sex. A lot of times the talk is about how you should be when you're around the police. And even still, a lot of times that doesn't help. So it has nothing to do with single moms. And that's all we're going to give that dude. We're not going to give him no more of a platform.
Fuck you.
And that's fuck shit.
But what do you have to say?
Yeah.
What do you think about all of that? Because single mothers, and what do you think, sis, about all that?
I just really think that it's unfair that he even felt the need to bring single mothers, black women, into that conversation.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that we're still finding ways to skip over the effects of policing in this country.
Right.
And just to speak to what you're saying about being, a little bit afraid, I was working with survivors as a therapist, and that was part of the conversation that I had with the organization that I was working with, is that, like, that's not my first resource that I'm giving my clients to say, call the police. That's not something that I'm doing as a professional. Like,
yeah, we got to talk about that as a mental health professional. do you really think the police should be involved, or should be the first point of contact, or should they stand back and stand by it in case needed if it moves to violence, but they shouldn't be the first point of contact?
Man, it's so complex, man. There's so many layers to that, because it's like yes and no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say no and never call them. You know what I mean? Because they are a resource of safety to a certain degree for some people and for certain neighborhoods and situations. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just say an automatic no, but at the same time, yeah, we got to be creative. We got to like give different outlets to these women and men and children who will find themselves in these compromising families and situations.
You know, that segues us into, let's talk about Jasmine and Jasmine, who you are, your background, like, you know, because that, you know, speaking of that, that speaks to your background. So let's just kind of tell everybody who you are and your company and all that cool stuff.
Okay. I always start with this. I'm Jasmine from Chicago. Like, you just have to know.
Chi-town,
I always represent. Like, I left home when I was 18, but always representing. But yeah, I went to Winston-Salem State for undergrad, got a bachelor's in psychology, then moved to Atlanta for my graduate program in clinical mental health counseling. So I'm a trauma-focused therapist by trade, but I currently work as a live-in life coach, and I still do like the whole intimacy and pleasure coaching on the side.
Nice.
Man, this question is always so complex. It's like I just don't do one thing. But I always say that like I'm just a mental health professional.
Right.
Yes.
Like,
you have umbrella.
Yes.
It's umbrella shit. Right. And I love it. I love my sis for doing that.
Yeah. It's still, it falls under the same population. I guess I always work with trauma, PTSD, anxiety, depression.
Yeah.
As far as sex goes, sexual anxieties, working with survivors of domestic violence and human trafficking and just different type of sexual assaults. And bridging that gap between wanting a healthy and a pleasurable relationship and actually having one.
Right.
Because, you know, it's like side note, when I first started my company, I was working at this organization. It was like an independent living program in Atlanta for survivors of human trafficking, like a transitional program. And that's one thing that I noticed with them is that it would easily fall back into those relationships and into those situations because the yearning for connection, the yearning for love is still there.
Right.
And so it was like, how can we help these ladies unlearn some things and relearn how to still satisfy that need for like care and love and not finding it in the wrong places, so to speak.
So do you find the focus is like the self-love first, the self-care? Do you feel like that kind of, because if they understand, you know, to love of self and also unpacking the trauma, right? To, like where those patterns begin, then maybe they might not follow those patterns, because we do it all the time. Do you find yourself keep doing it? And you're always the equation. You wonder like, why I keep getting the same man,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
It's the definition of insanity,
right?
It's trying to do something different, but getting the same results,
right? But you're gonna get them because you're not working through with the therapist on, you know, why is it that I'm, you know, continue this cycle or this circle.
Yeah. And then it's what I like about coaching is because it goes beyond just the processing, right?
Right.
Like we can talk about the trauma, we can process all the stuff.
Right.
But then the next step is you got to actually do something.
Right.
Like you got to act on it. You got to do things differently. You got to behave differently. You got to think differently. You got to switch up your routine. You got to switch up your choices.
So how would you do that? Like, how would you coach somebody in that, like if someone came to you and is like, you know, I'm constantly with this guy who just, or you know, who doesn't give me any value, or who puts his hands on me or whatever. But you know, what are some exercises or some things you kind of talk them through to help them move through it? Like just a couple examples. I know it's probably a lot.
Right. I would say the first thing I would want to know is what are we getting out of this relationship?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why are we here? Like, what's benefiting us? Like, why are we, you know, what are we searching for? You know,
let's just keep it
right. You know what I'm saying?
Because, you know,
He got that.
yeah, I done been digmatized a time or two. I done been digmatized.
Let's talk about it.
It was toxic. You know what I'm saying? But I recognized that it was toxic.
Yeah.
It took me a minute. I was like,
because you was digmatized.
Because I was digmatized, but once I snapped out of my digmatization, right? Once I snapped out of that digmatization, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, you're a fuck nigga, and I can no longer be a part of your fuck niggery. Like, I can't be a part of that no more. Like, it's too much.
But did you do it yourself, or did you? Oh, you didn't seek any therapy or reach out or read books and do something? I had
help from like friends and like, you know, family and stuff. Like my last relation, I talked about this on the pod. Like my last relation damn near killed me. Like he literally, like he never put his hands on me or anything like that. But it was the verbal. It was the, you know, all of the other disrespectful ass shit that man put me through, right? And then add insult to injury, the constant lying and disrespect of him still seeking other women when I was not at that point of being polygynous, right?
Right.
You lying about sleeping with this woman and being in this whole ass relationship, disrespectful. And then bringing, other women to my house, just the calamities and chaos, the calamities and chaos. But I didn't see my ass from my elbow back then. You see what I'm saying?
Because that dick was so good.
It was. It was.
And how do you help people? So you say you go back to like, okay, why are you going to that? Let's really unpack that.
Yeah, because I was even when she was talking, I'm like, let's even break that down.
Right.
Like because I've definitely been digmatized before. Like come on, y'all.
Right. Want to keep in touch with us and what we have going on? Visit our website at omgoddesses.com and join our VIP list. Check out our upcoming events. Need to add to your spicy bag? Well, click on Shop Bedroom Candy for the top of the line bath and body products, makeup, and bedroom accessories. Consider booking us for a fun, sexy, and educational show with your circle. We won't disappoint.
Got a t-shirt. Got that t-shirt, right? But it's kind of like, what are we, for me, and I'll speak for myself and you can let me know, but it was also the only times that I was feeling connected.
Right.
Or I was like, I was craving that companionship.
Right.
And the relationship wasn't there with anybody, but this, I can get dick easily. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was that moment of like connection. It was that moment of intimacy. It was that moment of feeling wanted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like being alone and lonely so long. You want to feel like somebody wants you for a little bit.
Yeah.
At least 1 hour or 2. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like really like breaking that stuff down too. Like even when we know that they're out here doing stuff and we just complaining, but we still take them back. That's still teaching him how to treat us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why are we okay with that? You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes it's thinking that we won't get it again, or we won't get better,
or we're undeserving. Right.
Yeah.
So this really goes back to then just
that
self-care
and that like knowing your worth and like increasing your value. So
how do you talk to, like, what would you say to someone that's that's digmatized or feeling that, wanting that connection, what would be some suggestions for that? Like in terms of like, you know, how to work on themselves as opposed to seeking outside of themselves.
Sitting, you got to sit with those emotions, the ones that we were just talking about, like the loneliness and the not feeling worthy. Like you got to be uncomfortable for a little bit and
being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes, you got to sit in those emotions.
But that's the issue.
You gotta. Sometimes you have to be single.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be single. Like right now, I'm single, so I have to be single in order to create the life that I want to live.
Right.
Sometimes you have to sit in loneliness sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like I'm okay with being by myself.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's like if you're not comfortable being with yourself, why are you expecting somebody else to be comfortable with you?
And that's what I wanted to tell you. That's how I wanted a quick story. I went for a while and I didn't date. It was the best thing I ever did because I dated myself. Like I didn't have to compromise either too, which is what I love.
Right.
But I took myself to the movies. I'd go to events and all different kinds of stuff. And I actually absolutely enjoyed that time with myself. But it also helped me to learn, like, you know, okay, you do some shit that maybe could be annoying to people. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned it's like if you don't love yourself or you can't spend time with yourself, how you expect somebody to spend some time with you? But with that, it did shape better relationships. And not to say that I still didn't attract some things that I still am working through in my past, but I didn't put up with the shit that long because I was like, you know what? I don't have to. I don't have to do that.
But you recognize that, sis. You recognize that you can be alone and that's okay.
Yeah, but being alone and being lonely
are two different
things.
Right.
Yes.
So, how did you? So I understand you got your degree in psychology, right?
Yes.
But how did you move into the realm of sex with that degree?
So I was on the track. Originally, I was on the. First of all, I always, even undergrad, I always had a focus on sexual education. And so I was always kind of like teaching in that world. But then when I got into graduate school, I was on the track for sex therapists, to be a certified sex therapist. And so I kind of just stayed in that space. All my research was all about love, relationships, sex. And so it kind of just grew from there. Like my program, my professors, everybody knew that was my track. My research was that, and then I started working in those spaces. So it kind of just grew from there.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. And why did you feel like why were you drawn to sex education? Like what was it that made you drawn to it?
Y'all remember on Sunday nights, Dr. Sue.
Dr.
Dr. Sue.
Yep.
I used to sneak and watch her.
Me too.
But I really loved how she was so comfortable.
Yes.
Just with like explaining the human body.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I my family, thank God for them, they taught me to be comfortable with myself. That wasn't, I guess that was helpful too. But I always enjoyed just knowing, just teaching you about like your body and like the pleasure of it. You know what I mean? Like it didn't have to be such a shameful topic. You know how there's some educational programs out there where it's like they push abstinence and then you get married and they're like, all right, now have us some kids. Like, hold on.
Right.
How the fuck am I supposed to do that? And so I don't know. I just like the idea that everybody has access to the same type of education, because in real life it's two individuals or two or more individuals from different backgrounds coming together to try to make this thing called love work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like that foundation piece. I want to be a part of that.
Do you believe in sex education from pre-K all the way up to high school? Like, how do you feel of the sex education from K to 12? Like, where is the knowledge? Because these kids need to know. about sex education.
100%. And so, and maybe my thinking is different, because my background is, I also, like, as far as therapy goes, I also work with children, or I did work with children who experienced sexual abuse. So part of those conversations with 3-4-year-olds was teaching you about your body, teaching you about touches, and okay touches and bad touches and uncomfortableness, or whatever the case may be. And so, yes, I'm all for sex education from little bitty all the way up to when you're grown as hell. But it's more about how you approach those conversations. Like, I think that's where people get misconstrued. It's like, oh, you shouldn't be talking sex with a 5-year-old, but we're telling them about their body,
right?
Like, we're teaching.
If you could grade right now as K through 12, right? If you could grade it, what grade would you give sex education through K through 12?
In America.
In America.
And we're talking about like actual penetrative sex.
Just
like that type of education.
Just in general. Just in general.
Teaching
the health class, sex education, K through 12. How would you rate it?
I would say we need to start doing it like around 4th, 5th grade.
No, how would you grade it right now? Like
are you saying I think she's saying like in terms of the way America focuses on teaching. Right. Where would you say that we stand now?
Oh, we're failing.
Yeah.
Fifth grade.
We're failing miserably.
Yeah.
And
if you had it your way, right? Jasmine Brown, right? Jasmine Brown, the queen. How would you, if you had it your way, sis, what would be done in the education system, right? From K all the way up to, grown up. How, if you had it your way, if you could do legislation, how would you be able to make it so everybody would be able to learn? And so we can get at least a C. You know what I'm saying? Like a solid C. C is passing.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, right?
So, couple things. Yes. I would, as far as the school system goes, I would make it so it's, because right now it's state by state. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Even the age of consent is state by state, but even what you teach in the schools depends on your local.
So you would have it federal. So you would have federal.
Yeah, federal, comprehensive, inclusive education for everybody in the school system. But also, even once you start having kids, I feel like this needs to be a conversation with parents too. And how can you start incorporating this inside the house? And even in the church. Because the church...
Come on, talk about it.
That I think that's one of the biggest barriers too in America. I'll just speak for us. America right now is that like our religious beliefs inhibit us from really getting into those conversations on a personal and on a deep level.
Right.
Yeah. And how about calling it what it is? It's the vulva and it's the penis. Not your hoo-hoo, your pocketbook, all those different things. Because I learned that the hard way. My child told me that I think I called her. I used to call her cuckoo or something. And she went to school and somebody was like, "Yeah, that person is cuckoo," and she was like, "Ooh," you know what I'm saying? And then I realized I was like, she's well, they go by they now, but at the time it was like, you should have just told me that it was my vagina, mama. And, because I looked stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think when we do that too, the kids don't recognize, and I think it will help even in terms of lessening some of the sexual abuse if they're understanding their body and the touches and all of that too. Not talking to them about penetrative. You don't have to go there, but you can just talk about what's yours, what it is, how you're different, and that's it. And then as you get older, especially when you get into the middle school and the high school, we really need to talk about consent even more and more and more at that time. That's my own opinion, but you're the expert.
No, I was agreeing with you this whole time, and I was just gonna say consent starts early.
Yes.
And that even starts with you asking your kid, is it okay if I give you a hug? And if they say no, then you say okay.
Yeah.
And you walk away. Or you not walk away, but like you don't make
it like I'm your mama, you better give me a hug.
or that's your uncle, or you know what I mean? Or,
right.
Because I grew up in a family too where it's when you walk in the house, and we got a big family, you say hi to everybody. You go and say hello, you go give a hug and a kiss or whatever.
People. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think teaching the kids that it's okay that you don't want
let's
a
teach
hug
the old people. Let's teach them that it's a different age now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different era, and we live in a different world now. And I think, especially with Black folks, we've been indoctrinated and raised to not be disrespectful to our elders. And it's always yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, and you do what I tell you to do type of energy. And if you don't, I'm gonna pop you. Right, that type of energy. So, you know, it's a different world that we are living in, and these elders don't understand.
It's hard to teach the elders, though. Right. It really is. So it becomes, people, they're set in their ways.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the young people, these generations now are becoming, teaching them more so.
Right.
But a lot of times, them elders, I call it a TFG, too far gone. That you can't, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just can't. And then the other issue when you talk about abuse is we as parents, we got to stop bringing our kids around our abuser.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
or making excuses.
He ain't gonna do it no more. Just go on over there and you know what I'm saying? And then don't tell nobody your business. That's the thing. I always say that therapy is the new Black excellence. And what people have to understand is that we all need therapy. Like, as parents, we don't go to parenting class. So it's okay for us to go and unpack all of these issues and things with someone like you to really understand and be, like we say, we don't want to pass that on to our kids. And you can't figure it out on your own. If you didn't go to school and learn psychology and things like that, it's always good to have someone like you, Jasmine, to help guide the conversation and help break those chains. Anything else you want to say? And then I want to talk about you being at our event. Okay.
No, I guess the only thing that sparked was the generational teaching.
Yes.
Yeah. And that even go.
Yeah, because we're having that thing now with my family and having to teach the elders, because I have a cousin who's trans. And they're still not able to correlate his pronouns and defining who he is now. And it's a lot, and it's a lot for them. So I get it, right? But we have to be respectful. Right.
It's like finding that balance, because I'm telling you, that too far gone, they be too far gone. And the younger generation has to understand that because all of generations have changed. You know what I'm saying? But I agree. Go back to what were you saying about the trans about generational teaching? It's a balance with that.
It's definitely a balance, but it's so important to recognize too, because even going back to our whole self-love conversation and self-worth, that's we teach each other that as well. Like we can pick up on those insecurities and learn those insecurities from our parents or from those that we were raised with. And so I think breaking that curse, I don't want to call it a curse, but you know what I mean, breaking that is beneficial.
Generational curses, and we got a lot to break through, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to, like you said, the church. That's the Black culture, is the church. A lot of us are raised up in that, and how do we talk through those things, because a lot of us are walking around with shame just for liking certain things and even wanting certain pleasure because of the church. And it's like, I'm sure you have to unpack a lot of that with people to just help them to feel, you know, to just to love themselves and be okay with it.
Yeah. I don't think God created us not to feel good.
No, right. That's the other thing. It's like, you know, he gave us a clit. What is the clit only for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only for freaking pleasure. He wouldn't have gave us a clit.
Exactly.
If you know, that would be a cruel joke. You understand what I'm saying? That would be so cruel. I gave you this clit, but you're
don't
not
touch it.
What? I done rubbed up against it and did all kind of stuff. I'm like, really? Okay. One other thing I want to ask you, your sex care model. I did see that on your, is that something you created? What is that?
So, that's been something that's been growing over the years. I would say, it's really just a sensual self-care approach. It's like a holistic approach to yourself. Nice. But including your sensuality and your sexuality and things like that.
So what would a person expect if they came and took your sex care, like, you know, under your care for sex care model?
It's more, I would say the sensual fitness is kind of where I'm like headed
I've
into.
seen Jasmine work,
And so those three things is sensual stretching, sexual confidence, and stamina. Those three pillars. Sensual stretching is important because one, you just want to get your body warmed up and
so you can put your leg over here, because right now, I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry, listen, I gotta share this. I told my husband, we gotta try some other things. I want to be able to do something. And then when we were trying it, I was like, oh, hold up, wait a minute, I can't,
your leg can't bend back like a bent back paper clip. Sis.
No. And I was so mad because all I think about is I used to be able to be like popping, but I haven't really. I've been so sedentary, and I know I have to be a little bit more. So the sensual fitness probably is right up my alley, and then it's gonna also make a person feel
good.
Sexy.
Yeah, it's definitely a way for you to tap back into your body. And to, just kind of like feel yourself on a deeper level. Stretching releases tension and trauma in your body, because that's where we hold a lot of stuff, is in our bodies. And so it's important to stretch, like, because you want to be able to receive as much pleasure as you can. Like, if we're tight, we're literally blocking off some nerves. You know what I mean? From our brain to our pelvis. So
is this something you can do in the bed too?
Absolutely. There are bed stretches.
So you guys, Jasmine is going to be at the Melanated Sex Expo.
Put some bombs in there for that shit.
Put some bombs. And she's going to be you're going to be teaching the class on oral sex as well.
Yes.
And so, you want to get those tips, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You better come on through if you want to get them tips on how to give your partner some good head. We don't care if you like vulvas, vaginas. We don't care if you like penises. We gonna teach you how to do it all. We don't care. We very open. We all about, you know what I'm saying? It's not who you are, it's what you like. That's it. We gonna talk about what you like, okay?
Period.
So Jasmine, and that's what I want to talk to you about, that because we were talking about the Temptation Cruise, and you actually teach hands-on, like you teach the class on oral sex, but their partners doing it while you're walking them through the process, right?
Walking them through, yes, from start to finish.
That sounds so freaking sexy, y'all.
It was so much fun, and I didn't even expect that was how the class was going to go until like the day before I was supposed to actually teach.
So were you in the room, like the playroom?
Yeah.
So the Temptation Cruise it's not a swingers cruise, but it's lifestyle friendly,
right?
So because we got a lot of voyeurs out here be like, I want to see what it's about. They're the only cruise though, because most lifestyle trips or cruises are couples only, but Temptations, you can have some single people there. but they have a playroom and they have a bunch of beds, right? And so then Jasmine is actually literally with the couples in the bed, and she'll walk. Tell us through how do
so the way that it was set up last year is that the first 30 minutes we focused on the vulvas, the vulva owners, and so I instructed the men to not only do like the non-sexual touches to start off with, different like I taught them different like tongue techniques to exercises, and then it was kind of like Jasmine says, like just kind of follow the lead. So we started from the neck and went down.
That sounds sexy.
Yes.
And they was doing it. And then we switched over to the last 30 minutes. We switched over and focused on the penises.
Okay.
It was so much fun. And then one of the ladies, she walked out. She was like, "Oh my gosh, Jasmine, I came like 10 times."
Oh,
like,
wow.
My pleasure.
You're welcome.
You know what I'm saying? That was
when
so
they say
cool.
my pleasure, I'll be like,
right.
I think.
Oh, and that's one of the things. That's one of the things that I definitely encourage. And I noticed the difference was I was making sure everybody was moaning. I was like, y'all say something.
Yes.
I was like, I was like, this is a different. I was showing them different ways to communicate with each other about what you like and what you don't like, without having just to say yes or no. Like the way that you move your body, or the way that you moan,
or you hold that head.
Yes.
Like be like, hold on right there.
Body language is important.
Yes.
So we were talking about that too. So we'll be talking about that at the expo. Yeah, I'm definitely going to bring some exercises for your mouth.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like work it out so you can last longer.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
We are Orgasmic Melanin Goddesses, where we make sex education and discovery fun for the BIPOC community. Join us on all social media platforms as we have amazing events coming your way. All right, everyone, welcome back. And so we have to give Miss Jasmine her flowers. So, Miss Jasmine, please tell everybody how they can reach you and what you got coming up and all those good things.
Definitely. The best way that people can reach me is through Instagram or Facebook. My handle is at sexcare with J Brown, JAYBROWN.
All right.
And then I have the Melanated Sex Expo.
Yeah, put some bombs in there for that.
I'm so excited. We're gonna be doing some oral sex workshops.
You're gonna learn how to suck dick and eat some pussy.
Yes.
Right.
I'm gonna bring some exercises.
Woo, yes.
Some tricks.
Yes.
And we just gonna get it in.
Yeah.
Some tricks and tips.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, and then the sensual movement segment, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that as well, because I need that in my life.
Yes.
I need that.
So after I spoke with y'all about like how the setup was gonna be, I switched it up in my head a little bit. So I think I'm gonna teach like a tease, a couple tease 8 counts, but like from your chair.
Yeah, that'll
so you
be
don't
sexy.
have to move too much.
I love it.
Because I don't ride dick, so yeah.
But you still need to know how to stretch so you can get. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a lazy hoe. I don't. I at this point in my old age group, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm older than you.
Yeah, but I'm like 75 in the body frame. You know what I'm talking about? And so I really don't ride dick.
What are we doing? You got your leg right. Like, what?
I don't ride.
Do we have the legs up though? Are we stretching?
It'd be a hard, like, I put them up there, but it ain't no bent back paper clip type of situation.
Okay.
You know, I just
So we need the sensual stretching,
Right, yeah,
so that we can bend back and paper clip it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You should at least bust it wide open a little bit.
Friend, them early days when I was hoeing, when I was out there with Mary Magdalene.
You need listen.
With Mary Magdalene.
I want to
out there with Mary Magdalene.
Ah.
When I was out there with Mary Magdalene, you know, I was showing it. That's how the thing was, an ankle. You know, that's how they got
I'm trying to get back there. I feel like, I'm like, and I want to still be able to be like, I want a nigga to look back at me like, or look front at me, or look up at me, do something. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I want them to be like, bitch, what you doing?
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, that.
If they expecting all that.
I went to Jasmine's class and I was like, yeah, I did that.
I'm gonna get that because you know my whole style now is. Nigga, you lucky you gonna get a side profile.
I was about to ask you, are we doing like doggy style? You bending it over a little bit?
You know, you get a side profile.
Okay.
You just get a little, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't gonna be no like Kesha, because Kesha can bust it. Like, shout out to Kesha. Put some bombs for Kesha Johnson, our bedroom candy big sister, in the field of sexuality and things. Now that woman right there, that queen right there, she bust open.
She be popping it.
Man, I be like, I'm gonna be like you when
it's
I grow
aspirations.
up.
I love that for her.
Aspirations, yes.
She got
but when we go to your class, you know what I'm saying? That's how we work towards the aspirations, because I really need that.
I was a big hoe back in the day, friend, but now, nigga getting side profile. He ain't getting all this extra. Now that, you know, my husband, you know, when my future husband come in, now he gonna get all of that.
Yeah. Right, but you gotta practice. You can't just be like, boom, ba-da-da. No, it don't work like that.
You know, the man sandwich getting crumbs. That's what he getting.
But even if you don't give him, you know what I'm saying, you can still practice and work some stuff. So when the husband come, you already be ready. You ain't gotta
stay ready, so you don't have to get ready.
So you don't have to get ready. Hello.
You know where the hips is set up.
My thing is over 50. I think this is good fitness too, because as you get older, people think that, you know, they not supposed to be sexy and sensual and still having sex. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I am here to prove people wrong. As I get older, I might be 70 and still be a super freak. Yes. Super freak. She's super freaking.
Yeah. She be sexy and stuff. I'm like, that's my motherfucking best friend.
But the more and more I become confident around my sex and sexuality, like because of my size, I've always kind of felt like, now, like I told you, at the party, you gonna see my titties.
Out. Yes,
I don't care. I don't care.
With the lights on, please.
Yeah. Question. What about if people want to take classes from you or to learn how to be certified? I remember you were talking about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the certification, those dates are going to be coming at the expo. I'm going to launch all of that information for the first time. But what I'll be doing is teaching anybody who wants to basically start their own sensual fitness business. I want to train you with the tools, not only the physical tools, but the mental health aspect to it, because it's going to be a trauma informed approach to sensual dancing and body movement, and just kind of being able to tap back into yourself. So if you want to help other women and men in that realm, I'll be teaching a certification so you can start your business.
Absolutely.
And then for all those who are already in the wellness field, if you just want to expand your practice and certify your program, so other what we would call them, clients, know that you are trauma informed and that you are equipped to work with survivors.
And there's life after trauma. Like, you can still feel sexual and sensual. You can still get orgasms. It's just working with someone like you, Jasmine, to help just people overcome that and really come back and learn about pleasure.
Yeah, because it's a real thing. When stuff happens to us like that, it's a betrayal on different levels. Yeah, and so we kind of just have to be active about tapping back into ourselves. Yeah, and that's what I like to do.
You help my sister so she can stop giving side profile. She got to put them legs
I give a little side profile to these niggas, because the man sandwich, you know, he be, you know, I be like, babe, you're not getting all this you know, you're not getting all the deep. You're not getting balls deep. You're not doing that. Ain't anybody got time for that. Cause I got a chicken in the oven. That got.
I've been such a prude for so long that now I'm just like coming out of the closet, just
she be ready,
sexually just free. Like y'all doing that? Well, let me see what that's about. I might be interested. Let me try. And I got a wonderful husband who be like, hey, baby, you want to try? You want to look at it? I love it. Ooh, it's wonderful.
That's amazing.
It is. It's the best thing ever. And I'm not old as fuck. I can still be old. I can be right. I can still, do my thing. And that's where I'm so excited about the sensual stretching. And I need the mouth exercises because we did a few episodes ago. And my husband was on there, and I was like, my jaws be hurt because I be trying to do all these theatrics and stuff. And he be like, you don't even got to do that. Just go up and down. And I was like, oh, that look like lazy dick sucking. I can't do that. But when you give me them exercises that'll help, I think I know I have to relax my jaw, but I'll be like,
and it's trying to breathing too.
Yeah, it's a technique, and I try to explain that because I'm the dick sucker of the group. You know what I'm talking about? So I be trying to teach the hoes, relax your throat. You know what I'm saying, man?
Her throat.
When you're out here giving the,
Well, she said she the throat goat.
The throat goat.
Yeah. Yes. No.
Yeah, deep throating, I'm not. That's not my thing, but I'm determined. So maybe these exercises will help.
It's about relaxing, and then learning how to breathe properly. Because you want to breathe through your nose and then exhale out your mouth. Because you have the dick in your mouth, it's kind of harder to inhale through your mouth. And so the other thing about it is when you exhale out your mouth, you're also providing an extra sensation. So go ahead and do a heavy exhale.
Come on, exhale, inhale.
Yes.
Come on.
That's a good theatrics. See, theater is my background. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, I want to give you theatrics and everything.
And it's really, that's the key to it.
I want to go.
Act like
all that too.
Act like you really into it. Like make noise.
That turns them on too. If you be all doing all that stuff, they be like, oh shit,
they like this.
They liked it, right?
And you gotta stand on the tip.
You can't stay on the tip. Listen, you can't teach somebody how to suck dick if they don't like to suck dick too. That's the first thing. Or you can't teach somebody to eat pussy. That's the thing. It's like a lot of these guys, you ask them, it's like they like, I just eat pussy because I know that you like it, but no. Can you like eating it when you do it though?
Yeah, because now you just gave me the picture like you out here just going like this.
No. Yeah.
Right. I need you to enjoy.
Spell the alphabet while you're doing it. A, B, something, C.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And don't be licking all over there. But get the clitoris. Get right there. Now, don't get me wrong. There's other little sensations. You can get them little parts. But the clitoris is most important. See, all these little things, we need you, Jasmine, to teach.
Come on, teach
people who like, who are attracted to vulvas and vaginas. We need you to teach that. I'm trying to be very inclusive here and not just be like, men, because there are women, there's all different types of people who like vulvas and vaginas.
100%. And it's more than just the technique, right? It's the communication.
It's the art. It's an art form. Sucking, and I tell people this all the time, sucking dick and eating pussy is an art form.
Yes. And like art. It, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Don't do it. Well, I think if some people learn the technique more,
right?
Maybe they might like it. Maybe they don't like it because they don't, because they don't know what they're doing. Yeah. The other thing is some people have trauma behind that too.
Yes.
And so they have to learn,
how to get back comfortable.
How to get past, to overcome that so that they can, be a throat goat.
One little trick for you. So swallow. Go ahead and swallow, and then just rub right here. And this is how you can produce more saliva.
Oh, it's coming up! I'm already, saliva go. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of times that's not an issue for me. Like I like to keep my mouth wet like a pussy. You got to do it like that, so they can feel like they be like, it's like dry humping somebody. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep that mouth wet, but.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait for them classes, y'all. Y'all better come to the expo.
She gonna get it. I'm
excited. I got y'all.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well,
is there anything else you want to plug, sis?
Yes.
Before we get up out of here? Any other social media?
Just check us out at the expo.
Yes.
I'm just super excited
and come
about
up
that.
to our sex celeb expert, Miss Jasmine Brown.
She is
You
very
get
friendly.
if you get the VIP tickets, you can come to the meet and greet.
Yes.
And you can meet her and you can take pictures.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? This is the time to really get to know our sex celebs, because Saturday and Sunday they're gonna be like really busy. Not to say that they might not be walking around and you can see them, but that is our meet and greet. So get your VIP ticket, because we have a wonderful swag bag for you. We're gonna feed you, and we're gonna have some drinks that day.
Yes.
It is well worth it. And right now tickets are 25% off.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So you have witnessed Sex, Love, and the Black Experience with the Orgasmic Melanin Goddesses and special guest Jasmine Brown of Alluring Interventions. Yes. So thank you so much. I hope you have an orgasmic day.
All right now. Put some bombs on that. Yeah. I like that.
Yes. Thank you. I'm so glad we caught that before.
Girl, because it would have been a hot.
Yeah, I'm like. Thank you for watching Sex, Love, and the Black Experience podcast. Please continue to tune in and keep watching. And follow us at omgoddesses.com. Join our VIP list. Or Facebook and IG at omgoddesses20 and Twitter at omgoddesses.